Hey guys, this is Michelle from Virtual Hand Care, and in this video, I'm gonna show you 5 exercises to build your grip strength after a distal radius fracture. Now, these are beginner exercises, and we are gonna move from easy to a little bit harder exercises. Now, the equipment you're gonna need is SLO-FOAM, and I have 2 types of resistances of SLO-FOAM. I have the yellow, which is an extra soft, and then I have a blue, which is more of a medium resistance. I have a bowl of water because I'm gonna actually put the SLO-FOAM in the water. I have a bowl of rice. I have a couple of resistances of putty, but for this video, I'm gonna actually use the red putty, which is more of a medium resistance. And then I have the medium resistance red Flexbar. So let's get started. Grip strength exercise number 1 is SLO-FOAM in water. So grab yourself a bowl of water. If you want to, you can go ahead and pop that water in the microwave and get it nice and warm, or just use warm water. It can be very, very helpful for stiff, achy joints, especially if your fingers are pretty stiff and you're just starting out with your grip strengthening. So we're gonna go ahead and place the SLO-FOAM block in the water. First, you just want to work on lightly grasping and lightly picking up that SLO-FOAM block. And you can kind of just get all the fingers and the thumb just nice and warmed up with that warm water. And then what you want to do is work on picking up that block. Now, depending on how much motion you have, you may just be able to just lightly pick up that block and not really squeeze it. And if that's the case, that's okay. Just work on maybe picking up the block and then lightly putting it back down into the water. And then that would be your exercise to start with. This even works on a little bit of resistance on your wrist, because when this block gets wet, it can be kind of heavy for some people. So then what you want to do is you want to go ahead and squeeze that water out, which will make it a little lighter, maybe a little bit easier on that wrist. And then go ahead and put it back in the water. Get that block nice and filled up with water again and squeeze the water out. And again. And so for this exercise, you could set yourself a timer for maybe 3 to 5 minutes, or you could just count repetitions. Maybe pick up the block, squeeze the water out, and that's 1. Go ahead and do that again, squeeze the water out, and that would be 2. And you can do 10 to 20 repetitions of those, whatever feels comfortable for you. And then to progress this, you could make this a little harder by really trying to squeeze that block as much as you could, bringing those fingers down, working on that grip by trying to get all that water out of there. And then relax, and you could do that again. So that would definitely be a way to kind of upgrade this exercise a little bit. Now, one last way to upgrade this exercise is to, again, get that foam block nice and filled up with water, and then turn your palm up, and then working on squeezing the water out. You might notice that by moving that forearm and moving that wrist around, that your grip strength changes. So then you would want to work on your grip in varied types of positions, and that will translate into increased grip strength for all the functional tasks that we do throughout the day. Now, if you're looking for more exercises to do with these SLO-FOAM blocks, I do have a video that I will link here, so do check that out after this video. Beginner grip strength exercise number 2 after a distal radius fracture is rice. So for this one, you're gonna wanna go ahead and grab yourself a bag of rice and put it in a bowl. Place your hand nice and slowly into the rice. And what you wanna do to start is just lightly rake your fingers and your thumb through the rice. And then you want to kind of dig in the rice, and then you can work on extending the fingers as well. And again, raking that rice. You can go nice and slow with this, especially if you are just starting out. The rice just can feel really good on those sore, achy joints too. And just like with the water, you can also put this dry rice in the microwave for about 60 to 90 seconds, and that warmth just feels so good on those achy finger joints. And you kind of forget that you're really working on your grip strength right now. And so then if that feels okay, you would want to start going a little bit faster and really working on opening the fingers and the thumb and really trying to get yourself a good handful of that rice, picking it up, grabbing that rice, really trying to dig deep down into that rice. And sometimes it can be helpful to just get a few bags of rice, just so that you have quite a bit to work with. And then a variation to make this a little harder would just be to start going a little bit faster with your fingers. And then even adding a little bit of a twist of your fingers. So a little bit of twist with your wrist and fingers in clockwise and counterclockwise positions. So you're getting a little bit of a wrist ulnar deviation, radial deviation, and finger grasping, which mimics having to open a jar, you know, doorknobs, various activities like that. And then one other way to then upgrade this type of exercise would be to grab different types of lids around your kitchen, and you can place those into the rice and kind of work on lightly pushing it through the rice and working on that grip strength in a little more of a controlled way. You can also take a lid like this and work on a different type of grasp that you might need for various activities around the house, to maybe pick up a book, magazines, things like that. And so you can take the Tupperware lid and push through the rice and kind of just work on kind of shoveling that rice one way, pushing it another way, making sure that wrist is nice and strong and stable as well. And you could set a timer for 3 to 5 minutes with this exercise. Okay, beginner grip strength exercise number 3 is using a medium resistance SLO-FOAM block. I have chosen the blue because I think it's just a really good progression from going to the yellow to the rice and then having a little bit more firmness. And you're gonna start working on gripping and rotating the block around in your hand, and then gripping and rotating that block around. And I like the block because it's not uniform all the way around like a ball. It's a great way to work on varying your grip because things that you grip throughout the day are different sizes. So by turning this block this way, that works on maybe more of a smaller grasp, but then turning it more vertical this way, that would work on a larger type of grasp. And then you can even start incorporating a little bit of thumb with this too. So working on pinching with that thumb, which most people kind of forget to incorporate the thumb into that. They really just kind of work on grip, grip, grip of the fingers. But our thumb is about 40% of our overall hand use. And so we really want to make sure that our thumb is strong too. And so again, you can work on overall grasping, setting yourself a timer for 3 to 5 minutes, working on smaller grips, working on more of a vertical or a larger grip. And you can do pinching with the thumb down in forearm pronation. You could do this down on a table and work on the pinching. And then a way to vary this type of activity would be then to, of course, rotate your hand and work on gripping and work on pinching, palm up, maybe doing it down on a table. Those types of suggestions can be very helpful for translating into increased grip strength with your daily activities. Okay, beginner grip strength exercise number 4. Go ahead and grab yourself some putty if you have it. Now I have the red putty, which is a soft resistance. Keep in mind that there are different colors which indicate different resistance levels, and those can also vary depending on the brand of putty that you get. So you'll want to get whatever is right for you. If you are truly in those very beginning stages of trying to increase your grip strength after a distal radius fracture, you probably want to stick around more with the extra soft and soft. And I found that the red soft has quite a bit of density and resistance to it. So for this, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and work on different types of fists with the putty. First, what we want to do is just kind of warm those fingers up and just work on lightly gripping in just a normal regular fist. So trying to curl all 3 joints around that putty and just kind of manipulating that around and then squeezing, manipulating it and squeezing, making sure that thumb is helping and all those fingers are helping. And then to add a little variety with this putty is then you can work on different types of fists. I'm going to work on a straight fist, which a straight fist is when you are keeping your DIP joints straight. So this is a straight fist and I'm squeezing down against that putty and moving that around. And again, trying to squeeze down into that straight fist and moving that around. And another type of fist that you can try is a hook fist. You might want to use your other hand for this one. Push the putty up a little higher in your hand, and then you want to work on coming down into a hook or a claw type of fist. And then relax that. And again, coming up and hook. And you can always combine that, right? So then you can go into your hook and then you can continue curling down all the way into that full fist. You can transition into that straight fist and then just moving that all around into your hand. And then again, remember, because that thumb is a big part of our grasp, you can then roll that putty out and work on some pinches. So work on that index and thumb and work on pinching of that putty. There's really so many activities and exercises that you can do with the putty. I do have a video that I will link here that will really go into a lot more exercises that you can do with the putty to increase your grip strength. Now, keep in mind, it can be very easy to overdo it with the putty, so do always make sure that you set yourself a timer. 3 to 5 minutes of the putty is plenty of time to work on your grip strength. Okay, beginner grip strength exercise number 5, you are gonna need a flex bar. I have the red flex bar, which is a medium resistance. I find that a yellow or a red is a great place to start. So for the flex bar, what you want to do is start horizontally, grasp the flex bar, and we're gonna be rotating forward. So you're getting some wrist flexion and then releasing. And you can twist and go forward and just work on that grasp and wrist flexion motion. And you can do about 10 repetitions or so of that. Then what you can do is grasp and bring your wrist back. And then you're working on grip and then wrist extension motion. Keep in mind that my other hand is just staying stationary. It is not doing any of the twisting at the beginning. If you want more advanced exercises, you can work on kind of twisting and adding a little more resistance throughout the bar. But when we're just starting out, just providing that little twist as much as you can do is really all you need in the beginning stages. Then what you want to do to vary this exercise is to then turn the flex bar vertical, and then you can work on grasping and twisting in flexion this way. And back, and twist, and back. And then work on bringing it back in wrist extension and doing a good 10 or so repetitions that way as well. And there are so many more exercises that you can do with the Flexbar. I will link a video here where I go into a lot more detail of different types of exercises that you can do with the Flexbar as you continue to build on your strength. Now, if you are looking for a progressive finger mobility and grip strength program, then you are going to want to get my customized Get a Grip program. It is a self-paced online program created by a hand therapist. There are over 30 videos that progress you from beginner stretching and grasping exercises to more advanced strengthening exercises. And you have unlimited access because there shouldn't be a time limit on building strong, healthy hands. If you found this video helpful, do please give it a like and don't forget to hit that subscribe button below. Thanks for watching.